Welcome back to Ladies of Another View. I'm back. We're going to talk about some
wokeism,
but we fought back and
Yes.
won. At UND, January 11th, what happened, I don't know if you haven't heard, but we'll just recap. Christopher Dodson with the Catholic Conference of Bishops, he wrote a letter on behalf of the bishops because last summer they caught wind of a policy that they were going to rewrite the transgender policy at UND. Mm-hmm. So he wrote a letter of concern. It was actually, he wrote the letter in October, never heard back. So he said to the bishops, well, you know, they never got back with me. And they really felt like, you know, it's time to draft a letter to the parents on behalf of us saying, parents, you need to be aware because the policy they had proposed talked about everybody has to use preferred pronouns, even visitors to the campus. You could get in trouble for not. And then there was the whole housing policy to contend with, that if people had the housing situations of their choice, does that mean that your son and daughter then is going to be with somebody of the opposite sex who's claiming they're another gender? Like, is that really where you want to send your kids? So he sent a letter to the parents because he never did hear back from them, and all hell broke loose because he included the phone number of the president, the person in charge of gender, whatever, you know, and housing, and then somebody else who was kind of in charge of, I think, budgeting. So yeah, get them where it hurts. And they must have had so many phone calls and emails, and I emailed them and I got a response right away. So they set up a press conference to talk to everybody. And they said, don't worry, we're going to consider everybody's situation. There were a lot of different media outlets, some from across the country, asking questions. And here's one of the things that Andrew Amakost, the president, said. We're going to take everybody's concerns into consideration. We're going to listen to the legislators. We care very much what they think. So I had a newspaper contact me, our Sunday Visitor, and said, hey, would you write this story for us? So I, you know, called around, got all the information. And then, here's the story. So then I call our beloved Senator Jana Myrtle, and I said, Jana, what's your take on all of this? And she told me something that was never reported in any North Dakota newspaper. When he said at the press conference, we're going to listen to the legislators. We care what they say. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they could vote you, cut your budget.
There you go.
So you better care. Well, you know what? Jana Myrtle told me 9 different legislators had met with Amakost last fall. They had all warned him, do not do this. There's going to be so much backlash. Leave it alone, because there's 11 different universities. None of the others were coming up because there's enough policy on campus that you look out for the rights of the students. You didn't have to do this. Not only that, they admitted at the press conference, there had never been any formal complaints of discrimination. So why are you doing this? And Senator Myrtle said they are angry. Those senators that they all 9 different ones said, do not do this. And he said, and they weren't the far right conservatives. They were just kind of middle of the road people saying, legislators saying, don't do this. You're just asking for trouble. He ignored them. So nobody in the North Dakota media reported that. They probably didn't know because here he's saying, we're going to listen to everybody. So guess what happened on Friday? The university put out an announcement. They're not going to come up with a new policy after all. They're just going to continue doing what they're doing.
Well, their regular policy isn't all that grand to begin with. But in this last legislative session, was there not some teeth put into the things that they're doing at the universities? Like, here's some of the rules you need to play by, or we're going to cut your funding. Now, is funding being cut? Is there teeth being put into this? Was there something that the legislators have said to the president or the staff there that said, one more step and you're over the line and the numbers get cut? I don't think we're going to hear that.
You know, and I get everything you're saying, and I get, and I know the mayor of Grand Forks had some words, and we can get into that. But to me, the worst part of this whole thing is that over and over and over we say on this show, follow the money, follow the money, follow the money. So it's all about, it's not about morals and values that built this state.
At all.
It's about the money. again. And I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of that being a back shelf issue. It's like, well, no, let's look at the money now, and oh, we can cut your money, and you don't want that, so that's your threat. Instead of saying, would you think of the decency, and would you think of the biblical values that built our state, that build our families in this state? Would you think about that in your decision making? Where's that conversation? It always gets squashed, and it always goes back to the money, and that's the only thing they want to listen to. And I am really sick of that. And I just needed to throw that in.
That might be what it took to get them to rein
Well, it always
in.
is. It
But,
always is.
But the letter from the bishops was, we believe you should respect everybody, but what about the rights of our students? What about the
Yes.
students that don't believe there's more genders than just two,
Yes.
male and female? What about them? Are they going to be put?
Right.
So they were appealing to logic, fairness, and respect for everybody.
And
Now
they
here-
didn't get an answer.
No, they didn't get an
still.
answer.
Except when the
Still.
threat was there for the
Yeah.
money, then things moved.
But you have to understand.
Your opinion means nothing in politics, right?
100%.
It's action. And so when you act and you say your money's going to go away, boom. All of a sudden you have compliance, and that's wrong on so many levels.
There was another level of that money going away, though. All of the parents that have, like juniors and seniors in
Yeah.
high school, that are planning which college they're going to go to, got this letter from their churches. So the fact that the parents spoke up, the parents made phone calls, the parents sent emails, you know, and I don't know what any of the parents' emails said, but from the groups that I've spoken with, they did not mince words. They said, this crap needs to go. We're already seeing kids pretending they're a cat in junior high, or excuse me, it's middle school now. You know, and if we say meow to that person, even though they're asking to be treated like a cat, we're the bad guy, and now you're going to make us do that on the college level, then my kid's not going to college at your institution.
Exactly.
If that money
Yes.
goes away, that's a bigger
Right.
pull,
Good
probably.
point.
Yep, and I think too, UND really has to be on their toes, because I think they may still be licking their wounds from the whole Fighting Sioux thing, because they lost a lot of foundation money from that.
Yes,
they
they did.
lost people who had appropriated money in their wills for UND
Mm-hmm.
that pulled that. And I'm talking millions. I'm not talking, you know, a 10,000 here, a 10,000 there. That was a huge deal, and I think they're still trying to recover from that. So I think this
point.
comes at a very good time.
You know,
that.
I want to say, what lessons did we learn? First of all, people need to speak out.
Yes.
It wasn't just the bishops that had the guts to stick their neck out,
Yep.
but also the parents and the people, and the mayor of Grand Forks. He wasn't worried about being politically correct. He put something on social media and said, can't we just get back to the job of education? And he said, you know, he was embarrassed that this was his alma mater. So then the newspaper, the Grand Forks Herald,
yeah.
picked it up. He wasn't afraid to speak out. The parents weren't afraid to call. And so within a week, everything blew up and they backed off, which is what we need to happen. And Yana Myrtle said something funny, but I think it's so true. And we decided not to put her quote into the newspaper article. But she said, why did he do this? Is he just trying to put that he's woke on his resume so he can get a job out east somewhere? And don't you think, yeah, that could be it.
Very likely.
Look
But
what
you know
I did. I'm
but
woke.
here's the deal,
Yep.
and thank goodness for this program, because us and other programs on Beck are exposing some of this stuff so that parents know that they can write. So
Yes.
that parents, and thank God that they sent letters to the parents, that the church stood up and said, we need to do this. That's how it's supposed to work, to
Right.
have a good society, and praise God.
Right.
I'm just so thankful.
Speak out, step up, speak the truth. Nobody, you know, like Yana said, and the bishops, they said, we don't hate anybody. We love everybody. We want to be respectful.
Right.
You know, but let's respect some of our values too. We feel like we're getting walked over all over the
Right.
time.
Right.
So, well, that's enough of that. I think we covered it.
Bad things happen when good people do nothing.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.